Hi friends, welcome to Law Chat with Girija. I'm Girija Patel, your host for Law Chat, and I am so excited for you to join us today. I have some amazing guests on Law Chat, and they're here to share their experiences and entrepreneurial journey with us, and through their storytelling, mentorship with us, because that is the whole point. We are all entrepreneurs and we're all on a journey, and learning from one another is the best way for us to move forward in our journey as well. And I have amazing guests who are so willing and ready to share their stories with us, their challenges and their victories and their achievements, and also their mindset. I just can't wait to share that with you, and I also just can't wait to have that conversation with them. It's such a privilege to have each and every one of them here with us today, and also it's such a privilege to have you listening in and tuning in. So let's dive in to Law Chat with Girija.
Hi friends, welcome to Law Chat with Girija. My name is Girija Patel. I am your legal BFF, and I am so happy you have tuned in today. Today we're going to be talking about memberships, what you need, and the pitfalls to avoid. Now, if you caught Tuesday, so June 22nd's episode of Law Chat 101, I kind of talked a little bit about the memberships and a little bit about the terms and conditions on your website, and then also contracts. I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper today and just kind of flush it out some more. And so let's get started. But before we get started, I do want to let you know my disclaimer that I am a lawyer in Houston, Texas, but I'm not your attorney. And all the information that I'm sharing today is for educational and informational purposes only, and it can apply to many different industries and many different businesses and not just yours. But if you do need an attorney, go seek a lawyer out. You can call me, you can call someone else and hire an attorney and get your legal ducks in a row. But with that being said, let's get started. So memberships is huge right now. People are really pushing them out. They're easy access to information. And plus, as business owners, we can get access to high volumes through memberships and still get our information out and still serve our community in a really good way, but in the form of a membership / subscription or something of that nature, right? And so memberships are awesome and they work really well, but you also want to make sure that the people that are signing up, your clients, your customers, that they truly know what they are signing up for and what this membership means, and also how it looks like and what they can expect from it and what they shouldn't expect from it also. So on Tuesday, I kind of talked about your terms and conditions, your website, because literally that is the home of your business. And that is also the gateway to the membership. And so when you are putting your first foot forward, you know, you're going to be saying, hello, welcome to the membership. This is what to expect. This is how, or this is who this membership is for. Put that out there on your website. Make sure your website is pretty clear and pretty direct on what the membership is all about, who and what kind of industries this membership is serving and businesses that this membership is serving. But then also talk about, you know, what kind of deliverables that they should be expecting in this membership as well. And so all of that stuff should be just in the copy about the membership. Like the page itself should talk about this stuff. The page itself should talk about the deliverables, the term of the membership. It should also talk a little bit about what the refund policy is, if there is any refund policy, just like the big items that people are always looking for. Now, some people may or may not have the pricing up there. That's up to you. That could be strategic on how you place the pricing. But at the end of the day, you want it to be pretty clear. And that pricing should be reflected in the contract, the agreement for the membership, because you need to have a separate membership agreement. So your website has the terms and conditions. Your website will have that information because it should already. It should have the privacy policy telling your user what and how you're using their information, their personal information. Again, privacy policies are required by law, so please don't forget that. And then number two, your website should have the terms and conditions. The terms and conditions is essentially how to use your website, what they can or cannot do with the website, what are some of the disclaimers or the waivers, or, you know, also any type of transparency that you want to put out there, the disclosures that you want to have, you put it in your terms and conditions. The refund policy, you put in your terms and conditions. But be mindful that The terms and conditions is for your entire website. It is not just for your membership program. So you can have a little blurb in your terms and conditions that talks specifically to the membership program, which is totally fine and probably a good idea. But what you want to always also do is, in tandem, you want to have a membership agreement. And that membership agreement is literally what lays out the lay of the land for the membership program. And so some of the elements, again, highlighted them back in Tuesday's episode, but I'm going to kind of quickly go through them again right now. It's like the term of the membership. Number one, the term of the membership. How long is this membership for? And is it auto-renewed, or it is something that they have to manually renew it, or it just ends after a certain time, and then that's kind of it. So you want to have the term of the membership. You want to have the price of the membership. What is the cost of that membership program that they're getting into? How much are they paying monthly, or are they paying one-time fee, or are they paying different types of fee? What's the fee schedule? Put that out there too. And is it auto-renewed? Are you going to be auto-charging them also, automatically charging their card? You need to have that in there, plus get a permission for that auto-charging as well. Number three, what you want to have in there is the deliverables. What are you giving them in the membership? And what should they expect? And also, what is expected of them? So you're telling them, hey, I'm going to give you these 10 things. But then you also want to say, hey, but I expect this from you. To be part of this membership program, I expect this from you, whether it's a certain type of behavioral respect towards other members, and not disparaging each other, and not being mean, not being rude to one another, and allowing people to speak freely of their opinions, but where it's not to the point of where it's showing discrimination or racism, or being, just plain rude to somebody for no reason, and in a way that is just so hostile, right? Where it's creating an environment of hostility. So you want to have those things out there. So aside from the deliverables, now you're also going to say, hey, this is the stuff I expect from you. As a member of this community, I expect this from you. And at any time, if I feel that you are violating these expectations, it could be grounds for removal or termination of the contract. So you want to have that in there, because the last thing you want is to have a membership program, but then have certain members that are absolutely being counterintuitive to exactly why you're even providing the services, right? So you want to have a little control in who's in there, and then if they're not aligned with your membership, then have that conversation to exit and terminate as well. I hate to interrupt this awesome conversation, but I have to stop and talk with you about the number one thing I'm asked about by entrepreneurs: contracts. They're vital to any business relationship and to protect your business. But I also know that entrepreneurs, especially when you're starting up, money is tight. But I would never want you to compromise on a strong legal foundation. So enter yourcontractbuddy.com, a website created by me with contract templates created and drafted by me and fellow industry partners. They're ready to use and easy to plug in immediately. And they are not restricted to any specific state. So yourcontractbuddy.com is sponsoring this episode, and you and your listener can get 10% off right now with code LAWCHAT. Yes, you heard me right. 10% off right now with code LAWCHAT. And now back to our awesome conversation. And so that kind of goes to number one is the term. Number two is the payment. Number three is deliverables and the fee schedule. And then number four is, the client responsibilities and expectations that you have from them. Number five is your intellectual property. This is really important. You are a creator. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of membership program you have, what industry you're in, you are creating content. You are creating courses. You're creating manuals. You're creating videos. You're creating a whole bunch of stuff. You want to protect it. How do we protect that? And so that is the number one thing that you want to make sure it's clear in your contract that, hey, this is mine. I am allowing you usage of it but I'm not allowing you to take this, copy it, and resell it or use it for your own business in a way where it is now becoming a conflict of interest with my business. And so you just don't want them to copy paste it, right? Now, ideas, of course, cannot be protected, but what can be protected is the way you show those ideas, right? The way you have communicated those ideas. So then the minute that information becomes into an original work of authorship, put into a tangible medium, it is copyright protected. So you want to be abundantly clear as to what they own or what they have a license to and what you own and what your expectations are with what you are giving them and how they can use it. So if they're not allowed to go and copy paste it and sell it on their website, make sure they know that in the agreement and that they are agreeing to that as well. So intellectual property ownership is huge, and it's something that you absolutely need to have in your contracts as well. And then from there, you want to have the refund policy. What is the refund policy? Is there a refund policy? Or is it that once they paid and nothing can be given back to them? And then do things roll over? So if you have a membership where you're giving certain things per month and they have not used it in that month, does it roll over to the next month? Or is it something that doesn't roll over? So those are things that you want to make sure that your client or the new member understands. And so that way there's no confusion when they haven't used something, or maybe they feel like, well, I paid you this much, but I haven't gotten all these services that I thought I was getting. And so I need a refund now, or I'm canceling in the middle of the month, so I need a prorated refund back. Well, that might be okay with your business model, but you want to make sure that that's clear to the client or to the member how the refund works, if there is a refund. And if there isn't one, then they need to know that as well. So you need to have that refund policy as well. And that kind of takes me into the termination clause. Earlier, I had mentioned, terminating on the grounds of where a member is just displaying a lot of hostility or creating a really toxic environment for everybody else. And so that could be a grounds for termination. But, what works for your business? What works for the business model that you're creating? Do you want to have, aside from immediate termination for certain reasons, do you want to have where if they just don't feel it anymore and they're just like, I'm done, do they need to give you a certain time frame, advance notice, or can they just terminate when they want to, or do they have to wait till the end of that billing cycle? Like, how does that work? And how do they notify you? Which takes me to the next point of notification. You need to have a notice provision in your contracts, in any contract. And the notice provision is essentially there for parties to notify each other of any real material changes that are happening to their contract or to the agreement that they've gotten into. And so the notice provision essentially tells you how to notify them and what is perceived to be notice under their contract. And so that way people aren't like, well, I didn't get that email, but you're like, no, well, I sent and the date stamp is here and it's considered to be notice after so many days. And so you want to have that there. And you want to have the ways and the methods a person is to be given notice. And then also if there is a time frame, then you put that in there as well. And so those are some really important things to have in that membership, agreement that you have. Another thing is, again, assignment and transferability. Can this go to somebody else? Can a member assign their family member this agreement and so that they're not obligated to anymore, but somebody else is? Or can somebody sit in their shoes? So how does that work? Can somebody gift somebody this, What does that look like? And does that work for your business model? And so you want to have that in there as well in your agreement. And so that way they know whether they can give it to somebody else or they have to kind of stick around with this contract and this membership of yours. Another thing that you really want to have in the membership agreements is the disclaimers and the disclosures. Very important that, number one, you're not giving anybody a guarantee of outcome because you can't control people's outcome. A lot of times coaching, whether it doesn't matter what kind of coaching you're giving, a lot of the coaching depends on somebody else's execution and the way they are implementing what they're learning. And if they're not implementing in a timely fashion or in the methods that you're providing, you can't guarantee it. Now, some people like to guarantee, I guarantee you X, Y, Z, and if it doesn't happen, you'll get a refund. That might be your business model, but make it very specific on what you're guaranteeing and what you're not guaranteeing and have that in there. And a lot of times, though, you just don't want to guarantee a lot of outcomes because you can really set yourself up for failure as a business owner if you're not meeting up to that level and standard that you're putting out there. Another thing you want to give a disclosure or disclaimer about is what kind of services you're giving, in the sense of you might be a health coaching program, but are you a doctor, or are you a therapist, or are you a psychologist, or are you a nutritionist? And if you're not, put it in there so they know that, hey, I'm giving you all this information, but you still need to confirm with your doctor whether this is something that works well with you and your body. Because the last thing you want is someone to do something because of what you said to them, but then have such negative impact in their life. And now they're going to sue you because you guaranteed them something and you obviously didn't fulfill it. And so be very thoughtful about what you might be guaranteeing. Be very thoughtful about the type of information you're giving and how you expect your clients to perceive it and how they run with it, right? And so make sure those disclaimers and those disclosures are out there, that you're not promising anything unless you truly can meet that standard. So don't set yourself up for failure. Now, with that being said, those are some of the really important things to have in your membership agreement. But on another level of membership agreement, you have your terms and conditions, your privacy policy on your website. You have the copy of the program on your website also, kind of being pretty clear on what to expect and even highlighting some of the points of contention or confusion. So that way you're really getting into good business practices of being transparent. But another thing, again, is the membership agreement that you must have in tandem with whatever's on your website. Now, some other things and aspects to look at is also the money that's coming in. How are you taking that money? Where are you putting that money? And is it part of your business or is it a separate entity of your business? Is this membership program something that is running within the existing business of yours, or is it something you're running separate? And how are you looking at that in a money standpoint? And think about whether, okay, is my membership program like, ABC company, and now ABC company is offering membership services. Now, is that a whole different business? You might want an LLC then. You might want something separate to identify yourself separate. But along with the LLC, you have to make sure that you're not commingling your funds with other businesses as well. And so to avoid those financial pitfalls, tax pitfalls, have clarity in your operations of how you want this business to be identified for tax purposes. So talk to your CPA, talk to your bookkeeper, talk to somebody who can really guide you on that and really, tell you that, hey, listen, this should be a separate business. It shouldn't be a part of what you're doing. Or, hey, this is great. Let's put this together and this can, we can push it together. And so think about the strategy behind that with regards to tax. Think about the strategy behind that with regards to your brand. And also think about, strategy with regards to the operations of your existing business as well. So these are some of the top tips for membership agreements and having a membership program in your business. It is literally one of the hottest things out there. And speaking of which, I have started a membership program as well with GBP Law. And so if you're interested in it, shoot me an email, DM me, is gbp@gbplaw.com, or DM me on Instagram to learn more about it. And I'm just really pushing it out very slowly, and some beta testing is happening right now, but it's really exciting. So if you have more questions about this, drop a comment, send me a DM, and I'd love to talk more about this. And if this was helpful to you, share this with other friends. Subscribe so you don't miss other Law Chat episodes.
Thank you so much for joining Law Chat with Girija. I love these kind of stories and conversations where we can be real, honest, and open, and having fun at the same time. I hope you are inspired and motivated to keep doing the amazing work you are doing. If this is something that gave you all those feels and then some, truly motivated and inspired for you, you can show your love in all or one of these ways. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this video with your community and tell them about it, or share with somebody that can benefit from it. I look forward to seeing you next time on another episode of Law Chat, and until then, keep moving forward. Bye.